guys, welcome out to the Harper's Homestead. If you've been following our videos, we've done a lot of work on our outdoor kitchen with a cooler and sink and drain system and cabinetry and stuff. Today we're going to focus on the draining of the water from the sink and the cooler and where that water is going. Right now it's just dumping out into the yard over here by the garden area, and it'll just make a mess if we do too much hand washing or anything out here. So basically what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to install a very basic gray water leach system, so the water can go out here, it can soak down into the ground effectively and away from the house. Nothing will get muddy. It's really easy, and I think if you guys have something similar, it may work for you. Hope you like it. Let's check it out. Okay, so this right here is where the pipe comes out from the sink and runs under the slab, under the rocks, out the side of the bulkhead. But right now, as you can see, it's just dumping on the ground. What we're going to end up doing right here is digging a pretty deep hole, not super deep, maybe like 2 foot. We're going to take a 5-gallon bucket, and I'm going to cut it in half basically, and I'm going to attach some PVC to it, and this is going to be basically sitting on a bed of rocks. Water will drain into this area. It'll leach down through the rocks. We're kind of on a grade here, so it'll eventually, once it gets into the earth, it'll kind of drain away from the house. And then we'll cover it all up with dirt and you'll never see it. It's pretty simple. Gray water drain system. If you have a farm or a homestead and you have a sink somewhere where you do some stuff and you don't really have anywhere for it to drain, it's a very basic system. You can, I got a thing here where I picked up a bunch of old concrete and rocks. That's what we're going to put in the bottom. This whole entire setup literally cost me about 12 bucks. I mean, I already had some of the tools, but I got an elbow for here, an elbow for down in the ground where it makes a turn, one length of 4 foot length of PVC, a bucket, some old rock, and that's it. So, I mean, it's literally going to go together very simple and very cheap, and it's a very effective way to manage your gray water. Okay, so our first step is digging the hole. So here we go. Okay, so we got the hole dug. It's about 2 feet deep, maybe by a little over 2 feet long. What we're going to do now, we're going to fill the base of it with some old gravel and crushed up concrete. What we want to do, just kind of make that a nice even bed. This base of gravel is where we're going to put the half of the 5-gallon bucket. And the whole reason the bucket is there is to keep dirt off of the gravel. Water will flow into the bucket, it'll get on the gravel, and it'll soak down into the ground. Okay, so we got the bucket cut in half. Still got to cut the lid in half. Cut a little bit off of it too. And then what we're going to do is take this piece. I'll probably go through this end because it's solid. Basically, this is where the pipe will come in. I'll drill a hole through there. I'll sandwich it on the inside so it screws together and holds tight. Okay, and then I'll hook my other PVC connections on up to the drain. Then we'll fill it in. So I got my hole drilled. Let's see how this fastens on here. Alright, I'm going to need to put a little bit of a spacer in there, which I didn't account for, and that's not a big deal. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention, I was out there, I came up with a solution for the gap difference. Because the way these two fittings come, they create a pretty large gap. The wall of the 5-gallon bucket is pretty thin. So I took a a coupling, just a PVC coupling, and I cut a piece off of it to tighten up some of that space. And I'm going to use some plumber's putty in here to make it all fit nice and snug. I'll do that in a second. One other thing I wanted to mention is, I know some of you are probably thinking, man, that's a really small system. It is. It's just for a bar sink. That's it. If you wanted to step this up, all the same principles apply. If you wanted to do this for your entire house, you just build a bigger drain field. You can use a couple 55-gallon drums in sequence. More gravel, bigger hole, bigger area. It basically should be in scale with whatever you're draining. So in this case, it's just a bar sink and a little cooler that melts, ice melts in it, and it will drain into this little area. So, okay, let me put this together and we'll get it in the ground. Okay, so right now I'm just setting it down in there temporarily so I can get a close measurement on attaching this piece right here. Make sure that it's the right length. Once I get that all in, it'll be ready to go. So I got all the PVC attached. One thing, very important thing that I forgot to mention, you need to make sure that it's all sloping down, because I put a couple pieces in there and it had to adjust the way the rocks were laying so that the whole system would, because that's the whole point of it, is to be gravity fed. So if it comes down here and has to go uphill, that's no good. So when I get the dirt on it, it'll be a nice little slope. Water will drain into this. It'll all soak into the rocks. And we'll be good to go. Let's get this filled in. Okay guys, we got it finished up. The ground's leveled and packed down. It works great. We'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please feel free to comment if you can see a better way to do it. I'd love to hear about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time here on the Harper's Homestead.